Start recording. I'm going to turn down the music here. So welcome. It's another quick video about how to learn Kubernetes and particularly how I plan on learning Kubernetes. So more Q's not, if you want to do that, yeah, you can do that. It's fine. You guys can do whatever you want. So I've been asked, how am I going to learn Kubernetes? And I've been setting up my main strategy for this. And I'm going to tell you that I'm only making these little 10-minute videos when I have made a conclusion, which I may change tomorrow, in which case I'll make another video about that conclusion change. But my conclusion as to the best method of learning Kubernetes is one, read the actual content from Kubernetes. This is the only information you are able to use on the certification exam. Right, and I have it listed elsewhere. If you read the API docs, and you can but I'm going to actually read the stuff that's allowed on the test. So let's what documentation is allowed on the Kubernetes exam. And I talked about this last Friday, but I'm trying to do it in a shorter, sort of thing here. Exam documentation uses posted to the CK exam. This is an old post. No, that's not it. There's a better one that's actually from there. So I know what it is already. I've got it memorized. So you can use what is it? Kubernetes.io. You can use the blog and the source code. github.com/Kubernetes. Pretty sure that's it. Is that it? Does anybody remember? There's a list of them. FAQ Kubernetes. What can I read? There's like a thing. Let me see if I can find it. I should have had it first. Sorry. Oh, there it is. No, that's not it. There's facts Kubernetes. Oh, cert exam. So you can look up, here it is. And let me see if I look for GitHub in here. Here it is. All right. So you can use the Chrome web browser and you can use kubernetes.io. So https kubernetes.io/docs. You can use the source code. So use the source, Luke. I mean, I really love that you can read the source code. Somebody suggested you might have to compile it. I was like, oh my God, I hope that's not true. Why is that a problem? I should not be doing that. I got a problem there. It should not be saying, okay, there, never mind. And it says you can use the Kubernetes blog, which, same one. Kubernetes.io/blog. All right, so that's it. And the argument goes, for me goes, if the only docs you can use on the exam that's timed, you only get like 90 minutes or something, are these, then you better be able to remember the answers there. And if you have a really bad memory like me, I want to be able to learn things using the wording, even if I don't agree with the wording or how they've done it or whatever, even if it's got a problem with it, I still want to learn from the docs that are available on the exam that I could then also take into the workplace and look up at any moment. And these are all things that I could easily get, really quick at learning. So that's my main thing. The other main thing I have, so this last 5 minutes, is I'm going to use real Kubernetes instances. So I don't plan on doing, I talked about this in other videos, but I don't plan, that means I'm going to be using kind, use kind for local Kubernetes. It's a single node cluster that runs it, that is used. We'll do a whole thing on kind, but kind is actually the single node Kubernetes cluster that's used to test the Kubernetes application itself. And there's a whole bunch of blog posts about people who actually will put kind inside of their Kubernetes deployments so that they can do CI/CD for Kubernetes itself, for modifications to Kubernetes. Yeah, they actually build kind into their microservices so that they can use a miniature teeny tiny Kubernetes version to do their CI/CD on their deployments. And they're hearing all of that is more than enough justification to use it. If you ask me, Helm, Istio, and probably NSM are things you should check additionally. Well, of course you should use those things, but so use kind for local Kubernetes, and then use. I'm going to say this. You kind of caught me off guard here, but we're going to use Ansible, Helm, Istio for on what do we want to say, for real hardware, and I'm gonna, by real hardware I mean Raspberry Pis, old compies. Is that a thing? Old I don't know computers. So I'm gonna make a hardware cluster out of old Pis and everything, and I really think that there's a lot of value in doing that. And I'm also going to use, I'm actually going to use a local network attached storage device. So I am going to I've been researching this. I'll do a different thing on this. Yeah, you got to learn kubeadm. That's the thing. So there are a number of things I'm not going to do here. So I am not going to, people have been recommending micro Kubernetes because they say it is a real Kubernetes, but it has a very specific purpose, and it's not to help you learn Kubernetes. It microcates. It's cool, but it's not what I would use in my job. So my job uses real Kubernetes. The Kubernetes the hard way from Kelsey Hightower. I don't know about that one. Is that okay? That's a different one. So we're going to talk about that. I'm in the middle of a video. I have 2 minutes left. I can't talk yet. Give me 2 minutes. My wife's coming in. She's like, so that's my thing on that. This means that you're going to see me doing things. It's good to learn from. I've heard Kubernetes the hard way is a good one. That's not related, Tony. Well, that's not related at all to the Udemy course, right? We have 2 minutes left on this. I went through the Udemy course. I'm going to do a whole video on that. I hated it. I got a refund immediately. The first time they told me to use PyCharm, and then they wrote a disclaimer that says you can't use PyCharm on the test. You have to use Vim or Nano. I was like, get out. I don't want you. And they said that was a recommendation on the blog from Cloud Native Foundation on the Kubernetes blog. And I said, fine, I'll go try this out. And I was absolutely, utterly disgusted by it. So I'm personally not going to do that one. Now, if that has anything to do with Kelsey Hightower's training, I've heard the recommendation from Kubernetes the hard way, and everybody knows Kelsey Hightower in the Kubernetes world. He's like, he's a really popular person in that world, and so I'm not going to say anything bad about him. I haven't heard anything but positive things about him from him so far. So Kubernetes the hardware sounds pretty good. Let's put that as a list. I'm considering we'll say it from Taniwa, who is very influential in that space, and that's all I'm going to say. Kubernetes the hard way by Kelsey Hightower. There is I'll do a podcast. Yeah. So they do a podcast. Google does a podcast, and it's pretty interesting. So we're gonna do that. I have 7 seconds left. So again, I'm just going to use the manual, and I'm going to go through it, and I'm going to try to set up my own scenarios. That's what I probably want to do here, is like set up my own scenarios from the real world. And I'm going to call them, I'm going to say scenario labs. And I'm probably going to do I've already got 2 labs started. I have a deployed Jupyter Hub and Kubernetes lab that I've done, which is directly corresponding to a task I have at work to do right now. And so that's going to be my approach. All right.